All right, good morning, folks. Hope you all doing well today. Uh, Big shout out to all my veterans out there. Um, I'm a 15-year veteran of the Air Force, and I know there's a lot of veterans out there as well, listening to this or listening to other weather forecasts. Excuse me. Uh, it's very cold outside this morning. The heat's on in my house, and I have a vent right under my desk, and I'm burning up right now. So, anyway. Let's get started here. Let's take a look at this. So we have mid-level or vapor loop. We have a northwest flow coming generally this way, right? Move this out of the way a little bit. There we go. And we have maybe a surface low developing right off the coast here with this short wave, maybe moving through the flow here. The general west to east flow this way. High clouds out here out west coming over the Rockies, and another maybe short wave moving through the flow here, bringing some lake effect bands. My drawing isn't that good today. um, Jeez. Yeah. So very dry at the mid levels down here into Georgia, and in the southern tier of the United States, right? So let's switch to the radar overlay here. See that band moving to the south here. Some bands of precip coming off the lakes there. This is mostly all snow, guys. Except maybe right along the coast here, maybe some rain mixed with snow. Not much else going on really. If we look at the long-wave infrared, you can see how bright the colors are at the surface here. Just white, you know. And this one indicates usually colder air at the surface, right? Um, these are mostly not really high clouds, like high in the atmosphere, which is normally associated with in this case snow bands, right? And we have snow bands actually making it all the way to the coast here. And with the surface low developing in just general area, it's going to move up this way into the Canadian Maritimes and up into the northeast here. So switching to the radar. Let me stop this, move this down. All right. So here's the radar. Let me move this up a little bit. There, that's better. Get within the frame here. Move this over. All right, so you see that band on the radar moving to the south here and off the lakes, right? And I wish this weather-wise would be able to differentiate with the composite snow versus rainfall. So, but since it can't, I have to kind of go through pretty intense band right here, you know. Getting ready to move over Chicago, a lot of Illinois, parts of Wisconsin. I think it's going to shift eastward pretty quickly. You can see that's all snow, guys. I mean, um, if we put the surface obs temperature. I'm not sure why it doesn't let me do that. I don't know. It's really bizarre, but I'm still figuring out the ins and outs of this program a little bit. So, anyway, let's see. Move over here to the East Coast a little bit and look at the radar here. All snow, really. Till we maybe move down right along the coast. And here into a Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Getting a quick hit of snow coming through today. This morning. Might be a little bit of a surprise, and along the coast here as well. Elizabeth City. And some of this may not be reaching the ground, but middle Pennsylvania, even into New York City, might be getting a quick shot of snow here. The aerodynamic system moving through the flow today. But this is going to quickly exit. This is like your backside of it, right? And so I'm going to zoom back out. And you go back to the composite here. So, oh yeah, today is the coldest day, really, for the south. And it's going to warm up, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. So as far as current temps go, this is what we got. 20s. Let me see if I can refresh this. Move this up a little bit. As of 5 a.m., we have 20s, 30s, and generally for east of the Rockies, with the central parts of the countries and 40s, the 60s. Wow. Interesting. Right over the front range of the Rockies, likely due to cloud cover streaming over there. And we saw that, right? We look at the cloud cover real quickly. Let's see that. Yeah, some cloud cover over the Rockies here. The middle part of the country as well. Right? But the south, really not much cloud cover at all. Wind chill, in the low 20s here in the south, 20s for teens up here in the northeast, mid-Atlantic. Again, out west, pretty warm right now this morning. So this is the actual temperature change in the last 24 hours. Right along the East Coast, it's so much colder than it was yesterday. In Florida, 20, 30 degree temperature change since yesterday. That's pretty big difference. Got some falling iguanas maybe down there. Trees. I was joking with somebody yesterday about it, and they say they don't have them in Orlando. Maybe comment, and if you're from that area, let me know if you see any iguanas falling out of the trees. And what happens is they get so cold, and they're invasive species, right? And they're not really adapted to that environment. Somebody let them out, and they bred, of course. Gets to a certain temperature, and they get stunned, and they fall out of the trees. So, hey, can I say it's kind of funny? 40 degrees warmer than it was yesterday, all along the plains. Wow, that's pretty bad. That's a lot. Current winds. Highest winds are in the Appalachians here on the front range of the Rockies, of course, over the Rocky Mountains, into the Midwest here as the system moves through. Right here. My face disappeared again. There it is. I already showed you cloud cover here, and so this is the latest analysis of observed snowfall in the past 72 hours, and in Monday, 7 p.m. You see where the most snow fell on the southwest side of the Great Lakes and into the central high plains here and UP and Michigan, all along the northern border of Canada here in the United States and in the Appalachians. We even had some snow down here in North Georgia last night, yesterday. And when I was driving home, it looked like there may be some flurries down here in middle Georgia. I never saw any come out of the clouds, but it was a very dynamic system moving through. So, 48-hour snowfall forecast. You see where the highest snowfall totals are on the lee side of the lakes here. As the system moves out, you have a northwest flow, which is going to bring more snowfall there. Now, as far as temps go, I don't know what happened, but I wanted to go through. Let's take a step back here. Duplicate this, go to model and European. I know this on the fly. I'm sorry, guys. What I'm going to do is go through what's going to be happening upcoming here. All right, so you have our current system here, short wave, and you have another piece of energy down here to the south. Jet streak really getting going here, right on the East Coast, okay? So if we duplicate this and go to the surface, precip type, let's go back here a little bit. Make sure I got the latest run. Jet streak there. Yeah, so that low moves up to the north. High pressure settles in at the surface down here. You see a northwest flow aloft. So this is 2 days out. We switch back to the upper level flow. Still northwest flow right here, right? Look at the surface. You can see maybe some lake effect rain showers, snow showers. But overall, for the rest of the country, not a lot going on. You have a system really taking shape out west here. So let's go continental here. You can see the surface pattern, right? High pressure up here, the Aleutian low. Low pressure is generally in this area. The flow is like this, right? So go back out. Let's zoom this out as well. See a deep low off the coast here. You see where the is coming from, right? It generally have this flow this way. Not really of Arctic origins, although there may be a little bit of a connection here up in this way. Majority of it coming from Pacific, right? So you see a ridge building out west here, way up into here. So we translate that into 500 millibar height anomalies, which can tell us heights, can tell us whether we get 500 millibars, give a good indication. These are mid-levels of the atmosphere. The darker, say, warmer colors indicate above normal anomalies, right? And we talked about this, the deeper purples and blues indicate anomalies below normal, which usually indicator of colder air aloft, which translates usually it translates to lower heights, which translates to cold air at the surface usually. So when we look at this here, this evolution, all right. Low off the west coast, generally trough in this, right? This low off the northeast, right? Kind of stays there. Um, you got a blocking high pressure up to the north there, and that finally rotates out. You see another one takes its place here. That blocking high up to the north there um, is really keeping this from moving out. Finally rotates out. High pressure, the high pressure up here into northern Canada moves to the east. You have a deep low developing in the southwest. Very warm temperatures at the surface here um, towards the end of the period. And this is the 20th. This is 9 days out. We'll go one more day out. And because of the Pacific origins of this system here, it's not going to be the same as the system diving down from the Arctic. But you see some cold air pulling up to the north here. And we'll just go through this to see what the European model wants to do. You know, it wants to bring that straight down. Um, that's coming straight. Um, that's very cold air aloft, right? And diving to the south, what's probably going to happen is probably going to go like this, generally. Rotates around. See the heights up here. My goodness, it's going to be quite a lot of variability in this pattern, guys. And very, very, very progressive pattern. We're not getting a lot of stagnant um, stuff going on here. Although, stagnant stuff, stagnant pattern. But although you see maybe high pressure building way out a little bit out west here, east, excuse me, to the east off the east coast, this may favor a negatively tilted trough further out. This is towards the end of the month, which is pretty far out, but you know, in general, it's just probably what's going to happen. But if we look to the GFS, it's has a totally different solution. So let's see, O6Z. Yeah, it's not even as far out. So, you know, a lot of variability there. Go back to the euro. So let's go back to reality here. All right, this is the 14th. Surface analysis. Kind of a busy surface analysis here, but the euro has been hinting at maybe something developing down here in the Caribbean. But so far, tropical development. But so far there hasn't been any indications of that happening. So we'll talk about it if it's necessary. But move through time. Have a surface low develop up to the north here in that northerly flow. We switch back to the European about that time. See that hold there aloft moving through there, and you have this cutoff low here we talked about. High pressure up here. Kind of splits it up, right? So we go the 18th at 1 a.m. All right, so now I'm going to go back to the continental U.S. Gives us a little better kind of a weak low developing on the east side of the Rockies. Maybe an overrunning snow event here. A weak system there. And then we really get going here with this system. And with that cold air pushing down on the lee side of the Rockies, we could have our first snow of the year out in Colorado if this plays out. This kind of pattern favors this with a low to the south, right? So, yeah, it'd be interesting. I have family that lives out there. If they get snow uh, on around 9 days from now, very dynamic system if this plays out. And this is changeable, but I would argue that we maybe get some severe weather down in here as this surface low develops, right? Switch back to the dynamics here. See, it wants to develop this deep trough here. And that's a recipe for severe weather right there, guys. So let's just take a sounding real quick. Not a lot to look at right now, but we'll look at it more later on. Yeah, so that's really the forecast. And in general, you can see what's going on here. Very progressive pattern. And then the longer term cold air is going to be pushing to the, looks like it's going to be pushing down right on the lee side of the Rockies for the potential first snowfall out west here on the lee side there. Next, we're going to go over the temperatures, future temps, excessive rainfall outlook, severe weather outlook, and then we're going to go over longer term climate guidance and some other facts about the snow that occurred up here in the upper Midwest. So moving on to the temperature forecast. Today it's going to be really warm in the middle part of the country. I put my glasses on here, guys. Sorry about that. My spare pair. Highs in the 70s and 80s, go all the way up into Central Plains, High Plains, getting into 50s and 60s, right? So, yeah, warming up quite a bit. Tomorrow, where it was 40 some degrees for highs in the southeast, going to be in the 60s tomorrow. 70s and 80s for a good portion of the country. Warming up in the Great Lakes, snow going to be melting here, 40s and 50s, right? Getting quite hot here in the Texas, right? It's going to be in the 80s, 90s, 70s. And then Friday the 14th, you could see about the same temperatures, 70s, 80s, 90s. Well, not 90s, 80s. Some cooler air pushing over the Rockies on Saturday, but warm temps where it was below freezing today. 60s, 70s, pushing up into the Midwest, and cooler air pooling again to the north, but overall quite warm still for much of the U.S. And then cooling off for the northern tier some as we get towards the end of the period. Now go back into day one min temps. This morning, this is the min temps that are forecast, right? We were already kind of there as of 7 a.m., but below freezing for a good portion of the nation, right? Day two, minimum temps. You see the northern tier still below freezing overnight. Maybe getting some cool air pooling down here in the southeast Georgia, northeast, of course, and the high terrain of the Rockies. I should have done this in a different order, but you see the warm temps streaming northward here. Wow, overnight lows in the 60s. Above freezing for a good portion of the country, except in the Northeast and upper Midwest and the Rocky Mountains. All right, day 4, day 3, day 4, min temps. Overnight lows in the 60s still. Wow, incredible. The change in temperature. Uh, Still, overall, not too warm at night, but right here along the Texas Gulf Coast, streaming up into the Ohio Valley, just in temps, day 5. That colder air is pushing down over the Front Range um, into the Northern High Plains, excuse me, and the Northeast, the colder air up there as well. And cools off a little bit, but overall, lows in the 50s, 60s in the South, the Northern Tier below freezing, which isn't unusual this time of year, guys. So, uh, you know, so we look at the WPC excessive rainfall outlook. No excessive rainfall expected today, but then we get the onshore flow here out west with let me move this up a little bit. Sorry about that. It's covering that up. I'm still working with this program some. You see the excessive rainfall outlook for tomorrow. Um, Marginal risk of excessive rainfall along the northern California into southern southwestern Oregon. That threat moves a little further south along the Southern California coast into the Sierra Nevada mountains. And that system moving down through the flow here. Excessive rainfall may be into the desert southwest into Southern California, and that moves further east there. So, yeah, so a few days of calm weather, then gonna ramp back up again here. So, total precip expected. You can see where the most precip through Tuesday, November 18th, the next 7 days. Um, of course, the favorite areas in the mountains, but you see all along the west coast here is where the most precip is supposed to be. And if we go back through, we can see 24 hours, 40 hours, there's nothing there. 72, let me refresh that. 72 hours. All right. 24 hours, nothing there. I don't know why 48 hours isn't there, but you can see where the rainfall is most, have the most rainfall here on the west coast. It kind of follows the excessive rainfall outlook, right? And then you see maybe some more rain building out here, excuse me, in the central U.S. And probably this is part of why the temperatures are warmer at night because of the cloud cover, right? As far as severe weather goes, for today, no thunderstorms forecast. Tomorrow, just general thunderstorms maybe along the Northern California coast, Southern Oregon. Same thing for day 3. And day 4 through 8, they're not showing anything, so I'm not going to show that right now. All right. So we're going to move on to a longer range outlook next. So a little bit longer range outlook. Here's a day 8 to 14 hazards outlook. We kind of touched on this in the precip totals here. This is from the Climate Prediction Center. All right. You have heavy precip possible outlined by them along the Gulf Coast here, the 19th and 20th. Now when we look at the precip probabilities, slight risk of heavy precip in the light green areas and the dates shown here, and then moderate along the Gulf Coast here, which is a little bit concerning given how far out this is, that they're already highlighting that area, so you got to keep an eye on that for excessive rainfall. And it'd be some welcome precip if we get some down here in the south for sure. As far as snow I'm going to refresh this. Snow goes, risk of heavy snow 18th through the 14th. In this dotted area here, 18th through the 20th. So yeah, as that system moves through, wind, pretty broad area here, slight risk of high winds. All right, 18th through the 20th. Hazardous temperatures, no hazards expected, 18th through the 24th. Now the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. I gotta move my picture over here. I'm not sure where to put it, but I'm going to hide it for now. All right, so let me refresh this. All right, 16th to the 20th. Above normal temps east of the Rockies, and below normal temps expected in the desert southwest and the northeast, but near normal in the gray areas. So the later, the cooler colors indicate more confidence of colder temperatures below normal, and the darker colors indicate more confidence in temperatures being above normal. All right, precip. Most of the nation, all right, 6 to 10 day precip outlook. Let me refresh this. Above normal precip expected. Um, so that's a change from what it's been, you know. It's not typical El Nino year to have this kind of pattern, but that's what's happening, guys. So now we look at the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. Pretty much the same thing, although below normal temps are likely here in the southwest, and above normal east of the Rockies, really. All right. Precip, same thing. Most of the nation expected to be near or above normal precip chance. It would be confidence is higher that there'll be above normal precip, and likely below up here into the extreme northeast U.S. As far as week 3 to 4 temperatures, December 22nd to December 5th, issued November 7th, so this will probably be issued again on the 14th. So you can see confidence is higher where the darker blues are, the temperatures will be below normal. And above normal temps are likely in the deep south, which is pretty normal for a La Nina year. Precip, you can see where the equal chances are below normal. Precip is likely along the southeast coast here, and the rest of the nation have above normal chances of higher confidence there'll be more precip than average. All right, monthly temperature outlook. So this is for November 2025. Issued October 31st. You see the above normal temps expected for most of the nation, with equal chances of being above or below normal for the rest of November. All right. So, yeah. Monthly precip outlook still expected to be below normal total precip amounts for the southern tier of the U.S. and on the northeast and the northwest coastline. Above normal precip chances there. More confidence than not that they'll be above normal precip. Then we're looking at temperatures for the period November to January 2025, 26. Confidence is higher, kind of south where these darker red colors are, that temperatures will be above normal and the equal chances above or below normal chances temperatures um, in the white area. So precip chances above normal in the green areas, equal chances of above or below normal precip, and in the brown areas likely below average, or more chance of having below average precip amounts, right? And this is the global tropics outlook. It's issued weekly. It should be issued again today, sometime today. And it doesn't show any in any change. Well, there's no tropical activity expected in the Atlantic Basin, and we'll provide an update about this if any changes today when they issue the new product. All right, so now I want to show you one more thing here, and we'll move on to a couple of different products that were issued by the National Weather Service offices where they had lake effect snow set up. So this is a recap of the snow event from the lake effect snow event from Chicago, Illinois. You can see where the highest precip amounts were. This was issued yesterday at 3:06 p.m. Almost a foot of snow in Cedar Lake, right? And Rockford Airport trace, Midway Airport 2.5, Chicago O'Hare only 1.7. So Chicago didn't look like it got a lot of snow. So interesting. So let's see. Yeah, and so this was one more report from the Racine and Kenosha County lake effect snow event. 6 to 12 inches occurred in this narrow band here in into Wisconsin, right? And you can see what lake effect snow does. Cold air moves over the relatively warm lake. More moist air rises into cold, condenses into clouds, and the narrow band set up. And so you can see the setup here that happened. And this is out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So it's just a matter of contrasting temperatures. The late temperatures are warm, cold air, and instability aloft, and the warm air rises, condenses into the really extremely cold air, instability, thunder snow, and heavy lake effect bands. So pretty interesting stuff, guys. All right, so that's all I got for today. Quite a long video, but I hope you all enjoyed this, and have a good day.